Fans, we are back live on thehannibaltv.com with the latest edition, a triumphant.
And still, hardcore road trip champion. Still holding the gold. I told you.
Right here, baby.
It upside
Right
down.
here.
You're holding it upside down. There you go. You know who also called me to give me the kudos for my glorious win.
Ooh.
When I swerve, when I drive, when I swerve, when I drive.
Yay, nah.
I know it's too. Wait a minute, it's too dark on my because black on black doesn't work. Let me hold it up a little bit. There you go.
That's tremendous.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. Don't show him this show because then he'll get his head will get big. But I'm happy for him. He deserves it. He's a good dude. I love him.
Well, yeah. we are back with the latest edition of the Shooting from the Hip podcast. Didn't want to bury the lead, but we've got the man who successfully trounced that no good snake, Big Daddy Derek Roy, or as we like to call him here, Big Daddy Oreo, and boy did he prove that axiom correct.
But you know what's funny? As soon as the match was over, I mean, I felt like Hulk Hogan when Andre the Giant poured the champagne over his head. But when I walked through the back and celebrating, I was like on cloud nine, knowing that I was going to win. But out of the corner of my eye, when I looked to my right and I tipped my head back because there was a little bit of a partition there, I see him on the floor with his legs crossed, with his hands in his head. I swear to God, he was in tears. And I'm just like, hey, take your legs, bro. I told you. It's not like it was a surprise, but you could see his back just, that hiccup, you could tell he was in tears. Don't
snotty crying, right?
Oh, dude, it was pathetic. But like I said, I told him he should have been aware. He should have been expecting it, so he would have a better acceptance of the loss, but I guess it was just too hard on him.
Well, and we'll talk about some more of the results and the historic happenings that happened June 29th in Napanee, Ontario at the GNW Schools Out Slam. But I think the major takeaway from Big Daddy Oreo is that he is an exceedingly he's not exactly splitting the atom or mapping the human Gino. Wouldn't you agree with that? That he thought that he was going to walk into Napanee and under dubious circumstances at best, walk away with that title that you've held for a long time, and just the fact that he was so convinced that it was a fait accompli. That's where things started to go south for him. I simply came out to see what was happening in terms of he looked like he was reaching for a weapon or whatnot, and then he turned on me and started yelling at me and actually tried to manhandle me. Ends up getting what he deserved. You beat him clean, 1, 2, 3. We walk in, we're celebrating because you joined the big money players, and that was a bit of a surprise, but still. It wasn't something that Roy could use as an excuse. He just didn't perform. And then, like the sore loser that he is, he spat in my face. And what happened to him after that, Kingpin?
Got the licks, boots to asses, But the funny thing is about, like I said, I don't underestimate, Big Daddy Oreo. He's a great athlete. He's just still green around the gills. He felt that he had the home team advantage. He felt that, like I told him before, you need to stop listening to people and putting stuff in your head, thinking that you're the greatest thing since Canadian poutine. And, he needed to focus on his training and had a game plan, which he didn't. He just thought that size and people behind him was going to make things happen. And unfortunately, that's not what was going to happen. So, like I said, I gave him a Kingpin 101 masterclass of how to defend and retain a championship. So, I should have charged him for that that masterclass, but again, I gave him a free lesson, and now he knows, so maybe the next time, if it will ever be a next time, he might give me an what's the word I'm looking for? Not an advantage. You know what I mean? Like a fight.
Give you more of a contest.
A challenge. There you go.
Yeah,
a challenge.
Yeah, more of a challenge. Well, I can tell you this. The fact that he, it's disappointing to me that Big Daddy decided to go the Rene Dupree route, and we'll talk about him. And physically get involved with. There he is. Nothing beats the train of thought, but the fact that he thought it was cool to get physically involved with me, and honestly, I've worked in some pretty horrendous places over the last couple of decades, and I've never had anybody spit on me, let alone spit in my face. So I think we're going to give.
You got to spit on that thing, hot too.
Yeah. There you go. That 15 minutes is almost up too, right?
But she made some bank.
Yep. Make hay while the sun shines. But I think Mr. Roy is going to get another opportunity at the newly rechristened GNW Hardcore title. That's what this in the spirit of the original, the Hardcore Road Trip title. We've now taken it to the next level with such a glorious title defense, and he's going to get a shot at it. But I think, like some other people, they're going to learn the hard way that you mess with the big money players, you don't stick around too long. So hope he takes your words of wisdom into account. And next time, think about it. Think about it. Did you really think for a second that this man, I was going to not be in his corner and not ensure that this title that I saw him win so many years ago and defend, that was just going to go to you? You're not very bright. Just like I told you in the ring. And the only thing you could do when that happened, when you're down, suck and win, looking at the lights after Kingpin did his thing on you, did a number on you, was spit. So your options in the future, you're not going to come close to this title ever again. And in fact, you're going to be, next time, I'm making a prediction that he's going out via stretcher.
Yeah, and what's funny is that regardless of the show was phenomenal, the fans was great. I love Napanee, and like I said, I love Canada. Justin Trudeau called me and told me, he was proud of me. That really gave me some air in my tires. And the point is,
he's a great leader. He's a great leader.
He's my homie, man. Trudeau's my homie. But the thing is that I had a great time. The Planet Fitness took care of me as soon as I walked in. I mean, like I said, I cannot put over Canada. My words cannot even give it justice. You know what I mean? Everything was top notch. The hotel was top notch. The food was top notch. Like I said, that's why I love coming back, because I get treated like royalty. That's the best part about Canada. But again, back to Big Daddy Oreo. My little finger duck. I got all these little toys from fans. It's pretty cool, man. I mean, Kingpin gets a lot of gimmicks. But anyway, I'm proud. I can't wait for the next show, and I'm pretty stoked. Hey, I'm gonna be honest. What really threw me off, being from New York City, the melting pot, the mecca of diversity, of culture. I did not see.
Look at what Phil's saying here to us. You guys must be heels putting over Trudeau. No, we're just wise.
No, Trudeau. I'm not heels, man. Trudeau is making Canada great again. There's another Donald Trump. You know what I mean? He's just a guy who cares about his people, who wants to make everybody have money in their pockets, rent low, car payments low, housing low. When you want to buy a house. I mean, this guy is just, I'm going to give him the Triple H treatment, the King of Kings. So.
Well, and the fact that our economy's never been stronger, jobs are plentiful, and inflation is well under control now, thanks to his shrewd economic management. And I think Kingpin, it says a lot that he took time out of his schedule. Now, I know he was he called me before he went to Tofino, which is a very beautiful area of British Columbia. He's on vacation now, but the fact that while he was winding up business for the session, that he took time out of his day to call you and congratulate you, I think that says a lot.
Yeah, but not to get off topic, back to what I was saying before I forget. Again, the way he opens his arms to bring all the migrants over to Canada to share the love of the Canadian people. I was very happy to see all the diversity in Canadian. You guys open arms, man. That's what I like about it. And I thought New York was a place where, let everybody in with love.
Well, let's talk about the fact that now that you have officially, although you've been a member for a long time now, but now that you're officially part of the Big Money Players, let's talk about your stablemate and what a job the prodigy Nathan Banner did to Rene Dupree. What my goodness, did he live up to the hype or what? What an absolute monster. And guess what happened to Rene Dupree? Exactly what I said would happen to him. Out on the ground, on the concrete, staring up at the lights, sucking wind. And what did he get?
He got the boost. He got the boost to asses. But before I even get to that, Banner, a young, strong, powerful athlete. I mean, I saw things in that ring that I just did not think could be done. I mean, this guy was a monster. He was agile. He was giving Dupree a run for his money. I mean, don't get me wrong. Dupree's a great athlete. He was fighting the fight, and but he was outmatched, outskilled. Rene had the knowledge and the years of experience, but he couldn't overcome the power of Banner. He was the Incredible Hulk. I mean, I was really impressed with this young gentleman.
And did you notice during your match when you were victorious and we're minding our own business, celebrating in the ring, he had to come out once again and almost take my head off with a chair shot. Fortunately, despite being a big man myself, I have some cat-like agility and I was able to avoid that. But I still went down hard on the concrete floor. And I thought for a bit that I had sustained another injury, but no. And I found it really gratifying at the end of the night. The person that had their bell rung, who was exactly ended up the way that we said that he was going to end up was Dupree. So there's big things ahead in Great North Wrestling for the Big Money Players, and especially looking at the possibility of you and Prodigy tagging. That's going to be that'll be a team that will stand right up there with some of the other great partners that you've had over the years.
Absolutely. And the thing about, to get back to Rene, like I said, I am not knocking his wrestling ability, but you can tell that he's lost a step if he has to come in the ring swinging a chair, because he knew that Banner was going to take him out if he came in without any type of weapon. So he had to get a chair or some type of foreign object to take it to the next level, because again, great athlete, but again, he took a step down because of his natural ability. So now he has to amp it up with a weapon. So he cleaned house. Nobody wants to get hit with a chair.
No, and it just goes to show once again, Rene had to resort to using a weapon. He used my briefcase back in November at the Renfrew Reckoning, and now he just all the fans don't understand why I was referring to him as a vicious, unsportsmanlike rule breaker. Well, now you saw it. Now he's off doing whatever he's doing, but he failed to beat Mr. Banner. He didn't make Banner submit. He didn't pin him. So guess what, Rene? When and if you decide that you want a shot at that Canadian title again, held in the Big Money Player family, you're going to have to start at the bottom. You're going to have to work your way up again. And also know that this beating that you got at the end of that match, when you were obviously in very, very close proximity of a humiliating loss against Mr. Banner, that's only the tip of the iceberg. And if you want more, I got Kingpin and I got Banner, the Prodigy, on my side. So good luck.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the next show coming up. I heard a lot of rumors. Again, I'm not part of the the booking department, but I heard rumors that Banner's coming back. Maybe Renee, because again, he might not, but again, hopefully he does come back so we can put boost asses again to him to just prove once again that he doesn't have it. But again, I'm not knocking he's not talented. It's just, I believe in my team, and I think we could overcome anything that Renee throws at us.
Well, the interesting part, I don't know if you saw after Hannibal, the Blood Hunters 3-on-1, and what an impressive match that was for an individual that was on the shelf having his first match since May. He totally dispatched the Holy Trinity and just showed that, there's a lot of gas left in that tank. But
for the Blood Hunter?
The Blood Hunter, or as you call them, the Blood Sausage, which popped me. It's interesting that he decided that he's going to become, once again, the sheriff, if you will, the lawman of Great North Wrestling, and he challenged the big money players after the show. Did you happen to see that interview?
Well, no, I didn't get to see the interview, but it's funny that you're talking about the Blood Hunter. Is it that when I was walking down the hallway before my match, I think it was like 4 or 5 matches before I was supposed to go, he kind of like walked through and kind of bumped into me, knowing he saw me standing there, and he bumped into me to try to like claim his area or something, like he's some type of dog. But the point is, he bumps into me, and I'm like, bro, I'm not Lanny Poffo. You're not going to come in here and slap or try to choke me out. I will knock that mask right off you. But I was too focused on my match with Big Daddy Oreo. I didn't want to, approach that. It's too much on my plate at that moment. But again, he's lucky that my mind was somewhere else, because I would have just turned that mask around and just slap him around, give him a taste of what the Kingpin is cooking. And just, but again, it's just when you're the champion, you have a lot of haters, and they always try to test the waters to try to see if they could get a rise out of me. And unfortunately, he didn't get a rise out of me. I was just too focused on my next match. So hopefully one day when I'm done with Big Daddy Oreo and Blood Hunter wants to get in the ring and get a taste and take the Pepsi challenge, then all we need is 2 mics, and I got the right one and the left one for him, so you can speak into either one, so I'm ready for him.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of respect, obviously, for Hannibal being the father of Great North Wrestling and all that he's accomplished in his career. But it would be a mistake, and he's going to get a pass this time, but it would be a mistake if he were to cross the big money players, because it could be a case of biting off more than you can chew. But we'll have to see how that plays
transpires,
out in the months to come. We're working on several things. Great North Wrestling is several new dates, venues. So fans, if you haven't already, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the HannibalTV.com, and you'll be able to stay on top of all of the developments that we have forthcoming for Great North Wrestling. But it's been nice for a few weeks to just sit back and bask in the glory of a job well done. It's something that people need to know. When we say we're going to do something, it sounds like a cliche, but take that to the bank, because it's going to happen. In both instances, Kingpin walked out with the title, the new Great North Wrestling Hardcore title, and Mr. Rene Dupree was left laying. So 100% job well done.
Absolutely. It's funny. I'm surprised that we're doing this show today, since last night weren't you like celebrating the Paris Olympics? I mean, French. I mean, I figured that'd be something that you'd be focusing on besides the podcast. But do you follow the Olympics?
Canada ran into a little bit of. Did you hear about that with the women's, or was it the Canadian soccer? Either the women's soccer coach or the general Canadian team soccer coach got removed from the Olympics for spying. Did you hear that?
No, like spying, like how, like an actual like spy and shit, like watch, like Was sitting in the stands and watching the other team with his binoculars, like that type of spine?
Somewhat. I think it was flying a drone or something over a practice area and getting some of their techniques down. I just caught one story briefly, but it's quite controversial apparently.
What's the difference? I mean, I don't understand. He's not scouting, but like looking at his other opponents. I mean, it's just like a boxer that watches reels of his future opponent, watching his techniques to see what you could do to, like, oh, you can see his head, it tips back when he throws his right jab, so how's that cheating? I mean, you got on your competition. Just curious. I don't know shit about football, soccer, whatever you want to call it.
Maybe there's rules of engagement around closed practices or something. But anyway, that's what happened. And the rest of it, I haven't really been on top of. Honestly, in terms of the Olympics, I prefer the Winter Olympics myself.
I don't really watch the Olympics. The only thing I watch mostly on the Olympics is the judo tournaments. I know Snoop Dogg was there learning to the judo thing, so I might watch that. Since I'm a brown belt in judo. That's another thing that Big Daddy Warrior didn't realize, that I had my judo skills ready to throw his ass around. So not only Taz knew judo, so. But again, not to change the topic, is just I just was surprised that we were doing the show today, since you're so proud of your French. I can't even do a French accent. Voulez-vous c'est asexual fromage?
You'll have to work on your French if you're going to be a staple presence up here, because there's so many aspects of the language that are beautiful and can be. Have you ever been to Quebec, Montreal?
No, I've never been to Quebec. I've never been to. I mean, I've been to Toronto, but only been passing, and we didn't go hang out over there. So, like I said, London, Napanee, and whatever town we be driving through. But we haven't really painted the town red, if you say, to enjoy the nightlife of Canada.
Well, we should. We may look into a show in Montreal, and then you can have an opportunity to practice those skills. So get on one of those apps or something like that. I'd like to do that for Spanish.
Me too. No, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I failed French, man. I told you I was in junior high school. I forgot the teacher's name, but oh my God, I was horrible. And then the worst thing is that, when you come in here, all you had, what she said, like, you only speak French.
Yes.
You couldn't speak English. You had to speak French. And I was like, all I knew is le plume.
Yeah.
That's all. I was too focused on fucking around, and all I knew is one word, Miss Couchel. That was her name. Her name. Couchel.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's hard to learn French unless you're right when you're in school. You start it, which is what happens here. And people, I think, for primary school anyway, get it for every year, and then you have to have a couple of credits in high school. But other than that, that's the number one language. Not number one language. Like here, everybody takes a Spanish class. Like over there is French class. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Because it's one of the two official languages.
I'm surprised it's not Hindi, because you got all those, a bunch of people from India and stuff over there. So maybe someday that will be a definite situation, because we're definitely expanding that population as well. I wanted, though, to talk about today with you a current topic in the larger world of professional wrestling, and that is the situation with Cody Rhodes and his undisputed WWE Heavyweight Championship run thus far. There's a lot of critics talking about it and referring to it as lackluster and not the run that they would hope in terms of entertainment value. And I'm not saying I fall into that category per se, but if you do a little bit of research on social media, there's a lot of people talking about it. What did you think
before we get into that aspect of it, what did you think when he won at WrestleMania? Was that the right call, or was Roman Reigns? There's still more gas in that tank as champ.
Well, I mean, I know Roman Reigns needed a break. You know, the guy's been going full tilt, you know, since the day he won that championship. Yeah, he took some time off periodically. But, I mean, Cody, I mean, he earned it. You know, the guy's been in the business for quite some time. You know, he needed to get out of the shadow of his dad, which is hard, you know, when your dad's a legend, you know, like a Ric Flair or Orton or Rhodes, you know, you have to try to fight your way out of that shadow, which you are proud to be associated with the, you know, with your lineage. But the thing is, you just want to, you know, carve your own path, you know, to say, you know, you kind of separate the two, you know, knowing that you guys are related, but you're still two different individuals setting different goals. So, I mean, like Bill Dundee and his son from PG-13, I forgot his name, but
Wolfie D.
I think it's Wolfie D, but don't quote me on
JC Ice.
I think it's JC Ice. But again, you know, I didn't know that was his dad. I mean, great tag team, great matches until one day I found out that was his father. So it gives it something great. I remember seeing Angel in ECW. Does he have any memories of Worcester? I always have great memories, man. Those towns, like I said, fans always treated me with the utmost respect. I enjoy going to towns and meeting fans, and I had some great memories over there. Great people. It was just, you know, it's just a good place. I never had a bad experience, you know, in every town. You know, do I have favorite towns? Do I have towns like, oh my God, this is a shithole? Yeah, you know, I mean, no offense to Gary, Indiana, but I went to Gary, Indiana. Great fans, but I'm like, oh my God, this is like one of those No, it was the Billy Joe songs, you know, and you know, Allentown, or you know, John Cougar Mellencamp, you know, born in a small town, you know, it's like really rugged and iron workers and stuff, but nothing bad, just good experiences, those type of experiences, like great neighborhoods or great people. But yeah, Worcester was a good place, man. Good fans, great, you know, had a good time. You know, I enjoy talking to people.
So back to Cody, you thought that him finally finishing his story, and we can talk about how that you know, the situation with his dad probably wasn't accurate, but from his own perspective, he finished the story. You thought that was the right move to make under the circumstances with Roman wanting time off, et cetera, et cetera.
No, absolutely, man. Roman, you know, I think Cody, it was time for Cody to shine. It was Cody's turn. And I mean, I haven't been watching it. I just catch clips of him, you know, in the ring. Fans are enjoying him. So, I mean, is he getting the massive push? No, but I mean, look how long it took Roman Reigns to get where he's at. You know how many times he was booed. This is my yard. I'm the dog, and people shitting on him from fucking what 2-3 years. And even Vince was, and Vince was like, no, we're gonna keep reinventing them. Nothing crazy, just working different ways of, you know, turning that knob, you know. So tuning in onto the right frequency, you might say. So I mean, once they got the bloodline going, I mean, it just took off, you know. So same thing with Cody, man. He's doing great. Is he getting the fans' response like other superstars? No, not really. But again, if you give him the opportunity, you just let him keep going. It's just going to click, and it's going to be like a John Cena, Hulk Hogan type of experience.
Well, here's what you know, some of the critics are saying is hurting his run, and some have gone so far, and I'm thinking of Sean Morley, Val Venus, who's got a very entertaining X account. He said that Cody Rhodes was the most boring champion in the history of that, the history of the company, and talked a lot about his promos are starting to, you know, become very generic, lack fire, lack any creativity. Basically, you've heard one of them on this run, and you've heard them all. How would you respond to the critics that are saying Cody Rhodes is too boring, both in his presentation and his promos?
Just got to give him a chance, I mean, yeah, he's been in the business for quite a while. He's been doing it for quite some time, but right now, this is the first time he ever done something, not saying on his own, but now that he has to make himself the man philosophy, he has to find that little niche, that goes, oh, this is who I am. This is, the path I need to go. And yeah, maybe he's a little bit of vanilla, but let him. It'll come in time, man. If it doesn't, then that's not what it is. But just give him the opportunity. I think he's going to be fine.
Well, from where I sit, he's
also before we go, not knocking Val Venus, but when I was younger watching this, hello, ladies, that was not authentic. That was kind of boring at the time. So, I mean, that didn't sound like being genuine. It's like me talking right now. This is being genuine. This is who I am. This is how I speak. Or I could be like, brother, when I get in the ring and I grab you and I pick you over my head and slam you, that's not me. I'm not being authentic. So Cody has to find that happy medium to be who he is and what the fans, to amp it up for the fans. John, they always told me that your character is an extension of who you are. So that's what you got to do. You have to take who you are and just dial it up a little bit more. That's all he has to do.
Well, he cuts really a traditional, babyface champion promo. Is he overly charismatic like The Rock or Austin or some of the, no, but those are once in a lifetime talent. So
yeah, but how long did The Rock
not an unfair?
How long did it take The Rock to get to that? His electrifying promos. If you look at the old ones, I mean, I'm not saying it was a drizzle and shits, but it took him time to find it.
The Rocky Maivia character for sure. I don't necessarily concur that his promos are bad. Just what they are for a babyface champion, a more traditional babyface champion. Which brings me to the next criticism. A lot of folks are saying, Cody doesn't have the aura of some of his contemporaries in terms of his character, again, is vanilla, straight ahead, not very entertaining. And when he's in the ring with, say, Roman or Rock, again, perhaps not the most fair examples, but his general character is not on a main event level compared to some of these others. And he's basically, I saw the term glorified mid-carder.
Yeah. I mean, I keep repeating myself. The guy is just getting his feet wet. He looks great. Body's great. Gimmick's great. He just needs to just focus on his, promos. That's it. I mean, like I said, but they ain't bad. It's just, everybody can shit on him, but they're not the ones, grabbing the mic. I bet you they can't do it the way, he can. So just give him an opportunity. Give him a chance. I mean, he just recently won the title at WrestleMania. Now he just has to get his the tread on his vehicle going. That's all.
Well, in something, a couple of areas that are external and not really his accountability at all. A lot of folks are pointing out really with Roman Reigns leaving, recuperating, doing whatever he's doing, and Rock going back to his Hollywood deal. There's really been no storyline for Cody to pick up on. Like most of the time you see, title defenses, rematches, et cetera, and that hasn't been there. It's just been what has been referred to as like random opponents. Now, nothing against AJ Styles in that match at Backlash. That was, phenomenal, pardon the pun, but and Jake Paul was kind of thrown in there too, but he doesn't really have that storyline to get the fans to care about who he's facing next, and that's not really his fault. What do you think of that aspect of it?
I really don't have an opinion on it, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm not gonna sit here and make some shit up, but I just don't have an opinion on it.
Well, it's something that again, he in the past there's a series of rematches. It carries you to segue into another program, another feud, and that just hasn't been there for him so far. So I think that might be a legitimate reason why some of the problems that are supposed problems, which we'll talk about in a minute, are happening in terms of ratings, etc. But the other aspect of it is everybody seems to be focused on the Bloodline, the new Bloodline storyline, and that's overshadowing Cody's reign. Have you kept up with, Haku's son and Jacob Fatu getting involved in the ascension of Solo Sikoa? That seems to be what everybody's talking about still.
I don't know, man. I think this Bloodline situation, again, not knocking it. It just reminds me of the red and black and the white and black. It doesn't give me any type of like, this is new shit. I mean, I just think they should have done some type of like angle. Perfect example. The way my mind works is that after WrestleMania, Roman, they could have cut a segment where Roman was in the office, and done an angle where they not kicked Roman out, but just beat him to a pulp, and then he leaves. And then he takes over but they could make it seem like what happened to Roman? He got attacked, he got hurt, almost like the Triple H and Shawn Michaels, where Shawn Michaels got beat up, and then in the video, Shawn was all beat up, and then he's like, "Well, I got the camera footage, and I found out who it was, and it was Triple H that beat the shit out of him." Do some type of shit like that, where it's like a mystery, and when you're trying to find who done it. And then Solo would have came in and said, "Hey, Roman wants me to take over. He has faith in me to lead the Bloodline, and I'm gonna bring in my crew. I feel that has my back. Not saying that my cousins or my brothers don't have my back, but I'm gonna bring somebody that I just feel more comfortable, behind me." And then he would have brought them in, and then build that story up, and build it. Then Roman comes back and says, "Yeah, I know who did this, who took me out to try to take control of the Bloodline as a tribal chief." Boom, and then also, and then it starts building up a big thing. You know what I mean? And then in the behind the scenes, when he finally tells, like, "I know you did this to me, but I had to reconnect with certain individuals where they have my back," and then it'd be Jay, his brother, maybe The Rock, and then do a Survivor Series type of thing, the old versus the new. You know what I mean? That's how my mindset works.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's I agree with you 100% there. They could have rolled that out with a little more connectivity, notwithstanding people being missing or off back to Hollywood. Hollywood. Somebody else has also commented that in his matches thus far with AJ and Jake Paul, that he has been booked to, or was it Logan Paul? I always confuse the two of those dudes.
Logan Paul.
He was booked to look weak and not really a dominant champion. Did you catch either of those programs or those matches?
No, but I mean, Logan Paul has been, not too many guys who are not professional wrestlers get in the ring and perform the way he performs. And I give the guy credit. Like I said, I don't like Logan or Jake, not saying I don't like him. I just don't follow him. I give him the respect, because this guy is just natural born talent.
Yeah. I'm not so sure that's really a valid argument either, because again, they weren't within the context of a program. Was basically, one-off deals that matches were made and that sort of thing. So that's That's probably a little deceptive of a criticism.
Yeah.
What about the general curse of the babyface champion in terms of money being in the? There you go. What's that?
Screwdriver. I was like, what the fuck is that by my foot? Go ahead, you were saying?
The curse of the babyface champion and the money being, especially with him with that multi-year build up, the chase, finish the story, all that jazz, and now that he's got the title, people are going, yeah, it's the similar sort of rut that you get into once you actually win the strap and you don't have like a compelling next storyline set up out of the gate. That seems to be something that's impacted Cody too, about the money in the chase. What do you think about that? Or do you think that a babyface champion can, in the modern era, not Hogan, not Austin, that sort of deal, but in the modern era, do you think a babyface can be a successful long-term world champion company holder?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you had your John Cena's, you got your Eddie Guerrero's, you got your, Stone Cold, like you said, Stone Cold. I mean, these individuals, it's not just Cody that has to make it happen. It's also the writers in the back that needs to make it happen, to give them the good storylines, the good angles, the good things to make people stay interested. If they're just keeping them vanilla, that doesn't just fall on Cody. That falls on, what do you have for me to make myself better? You could put, remember, look at Robert Downey Jr. I mean, yeah, at the time he was addicted to drugs, but he reinvented himself, or resurgence of his career of doing Iron Man, because he got the right script. You could give a person a shitty script, you could be the best actor, but the script is shitty. So that's the problem. It's just that if the writers and the people who do the storylines are not giving them the material to make him successful, then that doesn't fall on him, because he can only do the best he can with what he has.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. It kind of reminds me of the Ultimate Warrior title reign, where he defeated Hogan in Toronto, and didn't really have as amazing as it sounds, considering the time frame. Didn't really have a lot of opposition lined up. They went back to Rude, which was a tremendous match, of course, and but that was a rehash before, and then it was kind of a letdown of a title reign, given the the hype around it, until he eventually lost the belt to Slaughter. It suffered from a lack of fresh opponents and storylines, and I think that's kind of what's happening here, perhaps in the extent that the initial rematches weren't there.
No, I agree 100%.
Hogan and Warrior rematches, up and down the road, could have, done a lot to cement his championship, and then through that develop through storyline another program that would pique everyone's interest, and that didn't happen. So I think that's kind of a little bit of what we have going on here.
But the thing is that, you remember, Ultimate Warrior was a one-dimensional character, and he didn't have any type of charisma or any type. I mean, he had ring presence because that's who he is, but he didn't have anything besides his look. And like I said, he was one-dimensional, run into the ring, run around the ring, back and forth, clothesline.
Cartoon guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. I mean, when I remember when he won the ICT title against the Honky Tonk Man at SummerSlam's '88, I was there. And all he did was, Chunky Tonk, hey, whatever, whoever's going to come out, I'll beat him. And then he came in, ran back and forth, clothesline, big splash, wins the title. I mean, because they knew that this guy was only one-dimensional. So, you can only do so much, man. Oh, shit, I got a hole in my fucking gimmick. But you can only you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You know what I mean? You can make it look like chicken salad, but once you taste it, it's the drizzling shit. So, I got a hole in my fucking armrest. God damn it.
Get that taken care of. We'll get you a gold.
It's because since I lean like this, it just split I could tell it's splitting in the middle. So I think I need to put a little bit of a little gimmick in it no crazy
Take
glue
care
and
of that.
stuff.
We
You
can't
know,
we
maybe
can't we can't say that Cody Rhodes is all the critics notwithstanding, you can't say that he is not that he's a one-dimensional character, because that clearly wasn't the case.
yeah, he's not one dimensional, man. Like I said, give the guy a chance. Let him get a taste of success. Let him build himself to who he is, and you won't regret it. Let the guy grow.
Which becomes the salient question at the moment, with ratings dipping in June below 2 million. Some are saying, okay, well, this is where the hemorrhaging really starts, and he needs to lose, or it would be best to lose to Solo at SummerSlam, and then do the whole chase again. Do you think that would be a mistake to pull the belt off him so soon?
That's Solo winning the belt and pulling off yeah, I mean, if they're gonna work the angle of him being pulled off, getting the title, so he could build up the program with with Roman, I think they need to do it a little bit more like a more challenging. Like I said, it's just too like, okay, he's gonna lose. You got to do it something. I can't picture it, but when is Starrcade?
They don't run Starrcade. Well, they have that, or they do occasionally in December have a.
Sorry, not Starrcade. War Game.
War Games.
Yeah,
that was an NXT deal. I don't think they've had it on the main roster yet.
No, I'm just trying to think of something like you want to build the steam. You want to build, if he's going to win the title, you got to give it some type of like, oh shit factor, and then Roman comes out, and stuff, and it's just something that needs to be worked on to make it successful.
Well, I think it would be premature to do that, and I think the people that are pointing out, oh my goodness, the ratings are falling, et cetera, it's that usual jumping the gun sort of thing. Look at speaking of Nana, look at the run of Swerve in AEW. Same deal. Really hasn't. There you go. There he is. How much did that set you back?
This piece of shit cost me fucking $60. This fucking, I could have got a Tootsie Roll and stuck it on a piece of wood and just put some like Tic Tacs for eyes.
The hat's cool though.
But since I love the motherfucker and I want to support him, I always share the love. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't tell Nana much because I always try to keep him grounded. That's why I joke with him all the time. But he knows when I joke with him, it's because I love him, and I'm happy for him. But this motherfucker's $60 fucking. So he should appreciate that I paid that fucking type of coin for this shit. Wow. Don't say I don't support you, bitch.
It's a nice bobblehead though. But a lot of people are commenting.
I thought it'd be bigger though. I really thought it was going to be bigger.
Swerve's title reign in AEW has suffered from some of the same lack of storyline opponents that Cody Rhodes is having. Have you checked out any of his stuff recently in AEW?
Again, it falls on the writers, and I don't know who writes the storylines behind the scenes.
Tony Khan.
So you're only as good as your writers. So I mean, Swerve is a hell of an athlete. Nana in his corner is very entertaining, but if you give him the bad scripts, you can't propel yourself to the stratosphere. You can't. I mean, he's in there. He's taken off, but is he breaking through that glass ceiling and to make himself the man of champions? Like I said, look. Okay, perfect example. John Moxley or Dean Ambrose, whatever you want to call it. He held the title. And they just didn't give him. They just don't give him the push, And again, you have to make each individual when they hold the title like, oh my god, this motherfucker is a badass motherfucker. Can't wait to see him next week on TV. So I mean, fucking Omega, same thing, man. The only person I noticed that got smoke is when they fucking MJF. But I think MJF just does his own shit. And again, I don't know what if he's following a script or not, but he's pretty entertaining. So,
Did you see that Osprey match that lasted an hour?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, it falls on the writers, man. If you want Swerve to be the best of the best, which he is, I'm just saying, but you need to give him better storylines, make it more entertaining, and I think he would just be like one of the top stars.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I hope they don't pull the rug out from under him too soon. One of the aspects of this that folks are talking about online is Cody will make a magnificent heel and be much more interesting as a heel. So if he drops the belt and then eventually does the turn somehow, that would make for tremendous business. Do you see him as an effective heel? Because I'll tell you personally, I don't.
Who, Cody?
Yeah.
To be a great heel, you have to be a great babyface, and that's the thing. You got to let him get his feet wet as a babyface to take him to the next level. Look at if John Cena turned into a heel, he'd be a hell of a heel because he knows how to cut promos, and this is before he was a heel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like when he was a heel, when Thug Life and all that stuff, that's a different variation. I'm just saying now, the John Cena now turning heel, it'd just be ridiculous. So I like I said, you have to give Cody the opportunity to be a successful, another perfect Hogan. When the fucking Hogan, Hulkamania was dying, and it just took that leg drop on Macho Man, and then all of a sudden he became, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan,
that's right.
Half of you be pumping, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great promo, and
but Hogan was a heel earlier in his career, so
that doesn't count because again, you got to go from heel to face to heel. The version of the heel that was back then was just a starting point, and then he worked on his baby face. Like it's a transition. Then now you understood both. When you got both here, then you go back to the original. Now now you know how to work both two pieces of a puzzle. That's what I'm saying. I just think Cody will be a great heel, but he has to master the art of the craft of the babyface. Then once he masters that, then because remember the only heel that he did was Stardust.
Oh, and that was brutal.
Yeah. And that was brutal. But now he knows what not to do as a heel. Now he knows what to do now he's doing the babyface thing. Or he was dashing Cody Rhodes. Or what was the other one with the fucking plastic face mask? Was it still dashing?
I think that was dashing, and then he had a mustache and a bunch of other stuff that didn't really take off. Yeah.
See, so I'm just saying now he's working on the babyface gimmick. Let him grow. And then watch, if he turns heel, you'd be like, holy shit, this guy's an awesome heel. Everybody's just criticizing.
I'm a little skeptical as to how whether that's the best route for him. But some folks believe him to be just in terms of his, he wears the suits and he's very businesslike, etc. That could get over as a very cocky Ric Flair sort of type character. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how they go or where they go with that.
Well, yeah, like I said, maybe being in the suit, that's who he is. He was doing it in AEW, he was doing it before then, so it's not like it just happened. It's probably who he is. So now he just has to just, like say, amp it up a little bit.
Well, I'm like most going to be probably checking out SummerSlam to see how that plays out and see when they end up bringing The Rock back to feud with or Roman to face Cody again. I think business will pick up at that point in time for sure.
Well, I just think a Survivor Series would be a good time for them to come back to build. Roman will come back, but then build it up to Survivor Series. I think that would be a great great story with the bloodline and all that stuff. And that's just my opinion.
Well, either way, it appears that they have they being WWE have more of a coherent strategy for their television than AEW at this point in time anyway. With the other big news item of the week was the status of their AEW's negotiations for their television product, and apparently that's not exactly going to be the huge mega deal that they were hoping for. And
what is it?
Well, they were expecting to get a huge increase from TBS, et cetera, and Turner Networks, and that doesn't, at least according to the online chatter and the experts online, doesn't appear, given their ratings are not healthy, so to speak. And I'm not an AEW hater either. So.
Yeah, I mean, they just have to like I said, man, they just don't. Okay, I hate saying they don't know what they're doing. It's just if it's affecting your money, then you're doing something wrong that you need to just figure something out. Yeah,
agreed. So in terms of what is next for you, how did you felt good in the ring? You certainly look good. You did a tremendous job on commentary. Are you looking forward to doing some more business up here in the very near future?
No, absolutely. That's why I've been stepping up my cardio. They've been doing a lot of cardio. Tomorrow I'm going to probably start a little bit of some more stretching work. But yeah, I'm just taking it up to the next level. I'm trying to get down to 250. To see how my body reacts to being that lean. I'm trying to get a little bit lean. I'm not trying to get shredded. I'm just trying to see what I can do with my body. By the time maybe the next show or the next show after that. But I'm ready for anything. I take all challenges, so I'm just pretty excited.
Well, we're just very, very pleased, generally speaking, with the results of the June 29th Napanee G&W Schools Out Slam. Tremendous support from the community, great facility, and we've got a lot of business still to accomplish. In the meantime, I'm holding on to the G&W Hardcore title for you, and the fans that are wondering what's next, stay tuned. Make sure you again subscribe to the HannibalTV.com. We've got in addition to Great North Wrestling events to talk in the near future, we've got a lot of amazing interviews lined up. Hannibal will be talking to Kimberly Page, the original Nitro girl and former wife of Diamond Dallas Page.
She has some nice titties in that Playboy spread. Ooh, I don't care. I'll bring it up. I'm not ashamed of bringing it up. Titties.
I never saw that. Ever.
You never saw it? I'm going to find it on eBay and send it to you.
Well, thank you very much. The other interview upcoming, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and tonight, if you're watching this live, I'm extremely pleased to be interviewing the former AWA World Tag Team Champion with Bad Company, the former Orient Express member, and the former Max Moon. I would be talking about Canada's own Paul Diamond. So that's coming up tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on the Hannibal.
Paul Diamond from who?
Paul Diamond. He was one half of Bad Company in the AWA, managed by DDP,
shit. Are you talking about
one half of the Orient Express, and then he took over the Max Moon gimmick when Conan had to leave.
Shit, you're bringing back some old. It just threw me off for a second. Like Paul Diamond, Bad Company, and then all of a sudden the magazine came into my head. Okay, it's been a while, man. Yeah, I mean, when is that?
That is tonight, live here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And being a huge AWA fan, and really have an appreciation for that period of the AWA, definitely not the boom period, so to speak, but that period where they were taping out of the Showboat Sports Pavilion in Las Vegas, was some good stuff that happened there. I want to get into all of that with Mr. Diamond in addition to his WWEF run. But did you know he wrestled 2 runs for Eastern Championship Wrestling and he was in ECW?
I remember he was in ECW. Like I said, he was a hell of a talent. I mean, Bad Company, Orient Express. I mean, phenomenal talent. Don't know why it didn't take him to the next level. I mean, not knocking him, I just was curious, like, why. But yeah, I mean, I knew he was in ECW before I got there. A hell of a talent, man. Nothing but praise for that individual.
In Eastern Championship Wrestling, Bad Company with him and Pat Tanaka had a number of memorable matches with the Public Enemy, and then his run in 97-ish around ECW had some classic matches with Rob Van Dam, Just Incredible, Mikey Whipwreck, but a pretty interesting program with Al Snow. So,
but you know who Pat Tanaka reminded me of? I really thought it was the same individual as the Asian dude from fucking Lethal Weapon when Mel Gibson's hanging from the ropes and Gary Busey's electrocuting him with the things in the water, and the Asian dude's like, "Well, we got all the information, man. Nobody could tolerate that much pain." He goes, "Well, just kill him." And then he broke his neck. I thought that was Pat Tanaka, taking his career to the next level, but it wasn't.
Oh, he didn't do any acting?
As far as I remember, I haven't seen him. No, I mean, I just thought it was the same dude, but it wasn't.
Pat Tanaka had an extensive career. I think he just recently, within the last few years, stopped wrestling, or maybe still be doing the odd booking. So, yeah, in my opinion, a very underrated, exciting team as Bad Company, and also the iteration of the Orient Express when Diamond returned under the mask. So that's going to be a really interesting interview, one for the fans to catch.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap her up for today, Kingpin, I'm going to give you your final thoughts and anything that you want to say to that sad former challenger for this title, Big Daddy Oreo, and seeing him in the ring again.
Well, I mean, look, like in The Lion King, Rafiki, it's in the past, and I don't dwell in the past. It doesn't exist anymore. If Big Daddy Oreo wants to take it to the next level, if he really wants to get a chance to redeem himself, then all he has to do is just ask, bro. I mean, ask in a polite way, maybe on one knee, because the thing is that I told him what I was going to do. He didn't take me seriously, and he's the one that was sitting down in the back of the locker room in the distance, beating himself up that he didn't take the opportunity and mastered or achieved his goal to be the champion. That's the difference. So if he wants another opportunity, if he wants another shot, all he has to do is ask, because I don't run from nobody. My final thoughts is that, I can't wait to go back to Canada. I enjoy it, and I'm just so excited just to take it to the next level. And if it ends up me against, the blood sausage, I'll put him down. If it has to do with the warlord, I'll put him down. So I take all challenges. I'm an equal opportunist. So I mean, that's just my thoughts.
Well, I agree, and know that we're just getting started in this glorious partnership that we have with Mr. Banner. And if Mr. Roy wants another shot, he's going to have to ask, and it could be a very, very lethal mistake, because I haven't forgotten. Again, I seem to be getting abused all the time at these events, and I'm not really I'm wondering if I have to step in the ring one of these times and maybe put some boots to asses, as you said. But you're not going to spit on me again, Big Daddy Oreo, and you could be taking that ride to the hospital and joining your friend, your buddy there, who came out to help you, Mr. Dupree, in
Absolutely.
the archive, after lying on the floor and getting your ass kicked. But all those good things are to come. We're going to maintain all of the prep that we're doing for the Great Northwest season this year, and we will be keeping the fans notified on the HannibalTV.com. But until then, next show that we will do, Kingpin, we'll be taking fan questions, and there's some suggestions for topics. We're going to integrate those, and hopefully, again, my bad for the delay in getting the show out. After a while.
It's fine, man, but it doesn't matter. We just did the show today. Before you fans out there, definitely check out tonight with Paul Diamond. You're definitely going to hear a lot of great stories. Maybe I might make an appearance. You never know. But definitely check it out. It's a lot of wrestling knowledge that you're going to be experienced with Paul Diamond. And I'm pretty excited to watch it tonight, And you hosting it?
Yes, sir.
Even better.
Well, fans, that's it for this edition of the Shooting from the Hip podcast. Again, like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to thehannibaltv.com, and we will see you next time.